How's it going, guys? So today I'm going to show you how to get eternal life out of your BMW. And by that I mean make it last forever, and most importantly, not break down on you when you're driving it. Okay, so we have 5 tips today that's going to ensure you're going to be able to drive your BMW for a long time to come without any major issues, mechanical or cosmetic. Now, the very first one I want to talk about is changing your oil. All these cars are standing in front of the M5. We have E39 in front of us. All these cars have vanel systems. They all have very small screens, little passageways, all kinds of things that has to have good, clean oil to function correctly. So depends on what year it is. BMW recommends 5 to 7,000 miles on oil change. I think some of the newer stuff's even further than that. I like to change everything 5,000 miles max. Don't ever go over that. A lot of the cars here get changed every 3,000. If I get a car in, it's got dirty oil in it, I'll change it once. We'll run it a few hundred miles, change it again, just to get all the old stuff out of it. Keep a fresh filter in it. Buy the correct filter. Buy a man filter, something legit. Most of the time, you can actually buy a man filter cheaper than you can buy a Fram filter from Walmart. There's no reason to do that. Pre-order that stuff. Keep a little bit of stock of them on hand. That way, you're not scrambling to find a filter or a part that's commonly expirable. So the next one is do all the maintenance. By that I mean, if they're recommending you change a water pump at 100K, do it at 100K. As a lot of you guys will tell me, they don't make it to 100K and it's already got problems. That goes to show you. If you have an M5, if you have S63, if you have N55, the 30 other engines that usually have rod bearing issues, if they recommend change the rod bearings, change the rod bearings. If they recommend change timing chain, change that. If it's an engine prone to timing chain failure or guide failure, do that before you have a problem. A lot of that stuff, if you wait till after you have an issue, there's no fixing it. Once it does that, it's done, right? It costs a little money up front. It does. If you postpone it and don't do anything and just let it destroy itself, you're going to be very angry. Instead of spending a few hundred or $1,000 to fix it in advance, you're going to be spending 10 or 13 grand for another engine. And that's what you don't want to do. That goes as far as the transmission fluid, any kind of fluid. I'm the same way with control arms, any of that kind of stuff. Change it in advance before it has a catastrophic failure, and you won't be the person on the side of the interstate in your BMW with it broken down. These cars sitting outside, it's a bad idea. I'm going to tell you why. They're so prone to leaking water in through the sunroof drains, around the windshield, the door seal cards, all that stuff. You can leak in your trunk, flood modules for the E60. It can leak in your ECU box if the drain gets stopped up. These cars should not ever sit outside. A lot of you are saying, I don't have a garage. I'm sorry, it's just not the kind of car to sit outside. And look at Phil to come in here and show you. This one's all been replaced. A lot of times let them sit outside. All the windshield seals will be rotted out. All the stuff along here will be rotted out. The paint does not hold up well sitting in the sun, as 99% of cars don't. You start getting all your headlights faded, the famous foggy BMW headlights. These aren't faded because it's not sitting outside, right? You get all the emblems faded. All that stuff just gets consumed by sun, and the other thing is the rain. So if you're in a cold climate, snowing a lot, and you got snow piled up in your car like that, the worst thing for a BMW to make a leak on the inside or ECU box is snow, right? The next thing is wash your cars. Put some arrangement of protectant on them. We use ceramic coating here now. Spray wax is definitely better than nothing. You see so many people come in driving their cars on a salty road, or they don't clean them enough to where it's actually growing like mold on the back part of it. If it's diesel, the whole back's all covered in soot. There's nothing more corrosive than diesel soot. It's very acidic. It does eat clear coat. It eats your wheels, everything. Also, if you have some cheap, nasty brake pads, the wheels are all black. I'm saying this, and I'm seeing these wheels are getting black. And you never clean it, that is going to eat the paint on your wheels, and that'll actually spray everything up on your paint itself. It can actually damage your paint itself by having massive amounts of brake dust. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'll buy the grabbiest pads I could get, the track pads. And they drive it 5 miles and their wheels are black. They're like, oh, that's okay, I'll just wash them. Well, you might do that the first time or two, but you won't. You're a lot better off going with a full ceramic pad, a good name brand pad, like a Brembo or something in that arrangement, and not ever have to worry about it. So the next thing is pre-drive inspection. The best thing you could ever do on any car, not just BMW, before you leave, check your tires, check your oil. On these cars, you don't have to get out to check the oil. You can do it from inside the car. Check your coolant often. Check all that stuff. Open the hood, inspect the belts, inspect everything you get your hands on. 9 times out of 10, when we have a problem with the car that I drive on the regular basis, we catch the problem before it actually causes a problem. That's going to do 2 things. Keep you from having a huge tow bill. That's also going to give you time to order something in advance, so you're not beholden to AutoZone or O'Reilly Auto Parts, places like that are going to sell you a Chinese part for a dealer price. The last one is listen, feel, and pay very close attention to your car. If you can actually spot something early on, turn the radio down, listen to the car. If you feel a vibration in the wheel, if something doesn't sound quite right, if something feels loose going around a corner, those are all things that you could prevent. Look at your tire tread, look at all this stuff, and be very aware of the car. If you do that, you're not going to have the breakdowns. The cars that have the breakdowns, 9 times out of 10, are the ones that are neglected, or people just aren't paying attention and have the radio blaring or talking on the phone, and something's happening and they're not picking up on it, and they just run the car till it's done. On the other side of that, if you have a coolant leak, if you blow a coolant line, if you're low on oil, don't try to just make it home. Just make it to the next exit that's only 5 miles away. That's the difference from that spot you're at now, everything being okay if you stop, to another mile or 2 of total destruction. That's going to be it, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Back very soon with another one.